Okay, I thought it would be useful to go through and show you the execution of this code. I'm using a tool called pythontutor.com, which is a website that allows you to step through code and look at how the code is being executed. This is a tool that you can pull up and try anytime you like, pop some code into here, and it's really useful for helping you to understand how the code works. Okay, so I've put the code into the window. This little arrow here shows us which line we're executing at any one time. Down here, I'm going to hit the next button, which is going to show me the next line of the execution. So my first line after I hit next, I have executed this line of code. I've set this variable called access speed to 100. The next line that I'm executing is this conditional statement. So if excess speed is greater than 50, then I want to come in here and set fine is equal to 10,000. Well, excess speed is greater than 50, so when I hit next, I should go to line 3, where I'm going to set fine is equal to 10,000. When I execute this line, by hitting the next button, I'm going to see another variable come up here that says fine, and it should be set to 10,000. So I hit next, that's exactly what happens, and you'll notice that my arrow now has skipped over all of this code and come down to this last line. So I've fallen out of this if, ELIF, else block and gone down to the next line of my code. Why did I skip all of these lines? Well, that's because this condition here was true. As soon as I find one condition that's true out of this whole if, ELIF, else block, then I'm finished. I do whatever code is in that block, and I skip down to just beyond this else statement. Okay, so I'm going to edit this code, and I'm going to change excess speed now to be 35. When I set excess speed equal to 35, I'm going to step through this code. I'm going to do this first comparison. If excess speed is greater than 50, well, it's not greater than 50, so I'm going to skip over line 3 and go to line 4. Notice that my arrow moves down to line 4 now, so I totally ignored this line because this condition wasn't true, and I'm going to check to see if excess speed is greater than 30. Well, yes it is, so what's my next line going to be? It's going to be line 5. So I'm going to set fine is equal to 500. And then where am I going to go? Am I going to go to line 6? No, because I've satisfied the condition. I found one true condition, so my arrow is going to jump down here to the print fine. So I found my true condition, and I'm finished with this if, else if block. Okay, so let me edit the code again, and now I'm going to make my excess speed equal to 5. Okay, so let's just mentally walk through this. If excess speed is equal to 5, I'm going to check this first condition here. It's not greater than 50, so I come down here to the else if. Is it greater than 30? No, it's not, so I skip this line. I come to the next else if. Is it greater than 20? No, it's not. It's only 5, so I try the next condition. Is it greater than or equal to 10? No, it's not. So none of the conditions have been satisfied, so I'm going to run the else statement, and I'm going to set fine equal to 0. So let's see what happens when we actually execute this code. Is it going to do it the way I expected? So I check the first condition. Is it greater than 50? No, it's not. So I check the next condition. Is it greater than 30? No, it's not. I check the next condition. Is it greater than 20? No, it's not. I check the next condition. Is it greater than or equal to 10? No, it's not. So I don't actually have to stop here at this else because there's nothing to check there, so the Python tutor doesn't stop there. So it stops at this line here. Fine is equal to 0. Set my fine, and I would print fine is equal to 0. Why do I need all these else if statements? Why couldn't I just put an if here each time? So what I'm doing is I'm checking all of these conditions, right? So why not just put if statements? Why the else if? Well, let's see what happens when I try to execute this code. So let's say I'll put this back to my excess speed is equal to 100 here, back to the beginning, and let's try executing this code. So I'm going to set my excess speed equal to 100. Done that. I check my first if statement, so my first condition. Is it greater than 50? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to set my fine to be $10,000. That's what the person should be fined. So in the last example, once I satisfied one condition, then I fell out of this block and came down to the bottom. What's going to happen now, though, since I just have if statements, is this is one block here, and when I jump out of this, I come to the next block. And I'm going to check that condition. If the excess speed is greater than 30, well, excess speed is equal to 100. So yes, that condition is true. So I'm going to now set my fine equal to 500. That's not what should be happening. If the person's going 100 kilometers an hour over the speed limit, they should be fined $10,000. But my code is actually running in a way that isn't actually logically correct. So now I'm going to set the fine equal to 500. I'm going to check my next if statement. Okay, with the else ifs, I was saying, if that last statement wasn't true, then do this. But with these statements, these are all independent decisions. So my last statement was true. That's fine. Did what it was supposed to do. Now I'm going to the next one. This is an independent statement, and it's also true. So my excess speed is greater than 20. So now I'm going to set the fine equal to 250. Then I have another independent if statement. It's greater than 10. Oh, so my fine is now set to be 100. And now I'm going to print my fine. So I've changed the logic of my code by taking those else if statements out. Okay,